All right, we are in the 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser. And right before we take off, there's two quirks I want to mention. And I usually don't do this Doug DeMuro style, but seeing as this car's going on Cars and Bids, let's mention those. So the first one you guys heard, that little beep when I put the car in reverse. I like that. A lot of cars don't have anything like that, and this thing does. I think it's useful because this is a 6-speed gearbox, 6-speed manual, and it's kind of nice to differentiate first from reverse. Now, I've never gotten them mixed up or anything, but still a cool little feature that this truck has that I haven't seen on any other car, besides, you know, if you get into semis or stuff like that. The second thing is, to the left side of the steering wheel, there's a button that says clutch start cancel. And I've also never seen that in other cars. And what that's for is you can press that button and you could start the clutch, start the car without the clutch. So it just bypasses the clutch, you know, the clutch switch. So that's kind of a cool feature. Don't see that in many cars. So anyway, we're on the road. This is 2007, as I said, FJ Cruiser. It is pretty special, pretty unique car. You know, besides the 6-speed manual, this thing has a TRD supercharger. So, you know, just driving normally down the street, it drives like a stock car. It doesn't have any, you know, quirks or drivability issues. You know, and you would expect that. It's a factory Toyota vehicle, so you're not going to be expecting issues. You know, it's not someone's modified backyard job. Right off the bat, I mean, I'm not driving it quick or anything right now, but right off the bat, you definitely notice the difference the supercharger makes. If you guys have ever driven one of these FJs, you know, they're not slow, they're not fast. They, you know, on the highway, they tend to have trouble kind of getting out of their own way just because of the size. It is a V6, you know, the aerodynamic drag these cars have. So the supercharger, in my opinion, is a big help. I always thought when I had other FJ Cruisers that I wish they came with a Toyota 4.7, you know, the same engine that goes in the Tundra, the GX 470, you know, Toyota's big cars, and I always thought this car would benefit from that, and I was always kind of disappointed with the V6. Now, it's not a bad engine reliability wise, but power wise, you know, it leaves something to be desired. And with this TRD supercharger upgrade, it shoots this engine past the 4.7. I mean, it makes about 305 horsepower, if I remember right. You know, and even more torque. I mean, you know, I think it's like 325 or 340 torque. I'm not exactly, you know, sure right now. But it has all the power you could want. I'm in 4th gear right now, going about 45, and you want to go, it just goes. So the supercharger upgrade totally changes this truck, in my opinion. Made it with the 6-speed trans, it's honestly a joy to drive. Now, a lot of guys that know me, I'm a car guy. I love my cars. Not a big truck person. Usually with trucks, you know, I like them for their usefulness. I had a Tundra, I have a Sequoia now. You know, I tow with them, I carry people, carry stuff with them. I like the trucks for that reason. I'm not big on driving characteristics of trucks, which is really, I never mod my trucks. The trucks stay stock. If I were to mod something, it's going to be a sports car, a vehicle, a sedan. You know, once in a while I might mod something odd and weird, but it's not something that I really want to mess with, because they're not that much fun to drive usually. Now, this FJ is a little different. It still drives like a truck, don't get me wrong, and it is, you know, it is a truck, but I really considered keeping this one for myself. I don't have a collection of trucks or anything, but I know how rare this car is with a supercharger, with a 6-speed, and I know I'm probably going to regret selling this down the line, but it is a very, very fun car to drive, or fun truck I should say to drive. You know, the TRD exhaust, I don't know if you guys are picking it up on the audio, but it gives it a little nice rumble. There's zero drone inside the car or anything, but when you get on it, you do hear a little bit grunt. Obviously, higher up in the RPM range, the supercharger kind of takes over with the whine. but it is a nice sound that you're getting. From that exhaust, and it's quiet for everyday driving. So let's see if we can do a little pull. Let me turn around a little bit. You know, the truck drives really nice, soft suspension, as you would expect. You know, it's not stiff, it's not bouncy, nothing like that. It absorbs bumps really well. You know, exactly like you'd expect an FJ. So let's do a U-turn. Now let's do a little pull. It's not a rocket ship, don't get me wrong. This thing's not a Hellcat, not a Trackhawk, nothing like that. But it pulls pretty well for what it is. It really puts a smile on your face, and the really weird combination with being supercharged, you know, being 4-wheel drive and being 6-speed. You know, when I say weird, I don't mean in a bad way. It really kind of surprises you, and not just in the whole power aspect, but you know, this truck, like I said, the suspension's soft, it's a big truck, there's obviously body roll, it's made for off-roading. So when you get on it, especially like at first, it kind of pushes you back. And usually when cars push you back, you're used to it because it's power. You know, you get into an American car with a ton of torque, it's just power that's going to push you back. This thing, not only is it a little bit of torque and power, but the body roll of the truck kind of slinging back is pushing you back as well. So it is kind of unique and very fun. I mean, that sound, you know, I'm not big on, like I said, I'm not big on trucks, but it is taking a lot of restraint for me to sell this instead of keeping it, because I know I'm not going to come across another 6-speed manual 4-wheel drive supercharged with a TRD stuff. And the very unique thing about this truck is, you know, in 2007, they had a TRD special edition that you could order from Toyota. And, you know, I don't know how the sales numbers were on those, if they were hot and flying off the shelves. I do remember these FJs when they're new, you had to order them, and it was very hard to get until it's possible. But this one is not a TRD special edition by Toyota standards, but it was ordered brand new with every TRD option besides the supercharger. The supercharger was added at a later date, around 97,000 miles if I remember right. So it is kind of weird. I mean, they added everything, like probably 10 grand in TRD options when this thing was new, and maybe more. But it's not a TRD edition per VIN number. But, you know, I don't know, maybe this wasn't available. Maybe the TRD special editions weren't available with the manual 4-wheel drive. You guys might have to correct me on that, so I don't know. But that is a pretty cool, interesting story. At first I thought it was a TRD special edition, but it doesn't have the black roof. So I called Toyota and I verified with them, and they told me that this was all ordered when the car was new, besides the supercharger. Supercharger came at a later date, but you know, the exhaust, the intake, the rock rails, the roof rack, the shift knob, all the little TRD accessories, all the badges, all those came on new. The wheels. So it's kind of unique. It's kind of its own vehicle. You know, it's an extremely highly optioned FJ Cruiser. So, you know, I think somebody's going to be really happy with this truck. I mean, it really brings a smile to your face when you drive it. It's a very unique, just very cool car overall. So happy bidding, you guys. Hope you like the truck. If you have any questions, let me know. And I think you guys will be very happy with it.